So so my notes are 6 pages long and over 2,000 words. So there's kind of a lot we have to get through.
Oh my.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I wrote a lot.
Okay, so are you ready for me then?
Yeah.
Captain's log, stardate 53466.6. The USS Kismet has just made first contact with a race called the Irisians. Although it may be more accurate to say they made first contact with us. We received a broadcast from them requesting an arbiter. Their planet is close to erupting in civil war, and a border disagreement has apparently pushed things to the brink. The situation is extremely delicate, so the Irisian Prime Minister is flying out on his own personal ship to meet with us before any negotiations are initiated. You're to meet with him at 043 Mark 37. This is certainly a complicated situation. See how this goes. End log.
Okay, so as the captain has so eloquently said, you guys are about to meet the prime minister of the race known as the Irisians. I think that's pretty close to what I was thinking the name would be. So yeah, so I'll give you guys a little bit of time to do any role playing you guys might want to do, but please do try to keep it brief.
I don't have anything. So
Nor do I today.
I'd like a briefing on who these guys are.
we know very little. Basically, what I have given you is that there's a race that wants us as an arbiter of some kind.
Okay.
Going in
That,
blind.
as the good Starfleet officers that we are, we have agreed to hear them out. Like I don't think we've even technically agreed to be their arbiter yet, but we've agreed to meet with their prime minister to get information on what's going on and decide if we even can be arbiters.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
let's,
So I guess I'm getting in dress whites and waiting over at the airlock.
Oh yeah, those dress uniforms.
Oh yeah, dress uniforms. Sweet. Anything from Doctor or Penn or...
No, Penn did his stuff last week.
We might actually have one time where nobody wants to run a scene.
Well, I'll
I
put a
don't-
tricorder in my back pocket because since I don't know anything about the new guys we're meeting, once again, I will want to scan them. It's what I do.
Well,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think our ship has met theirs yet.
I could go ahead and jump to that.
All right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured I'd give you guys any opportunity. You guys wanted to role play with each other, but if no one wants to take the opportunity, that's cool. We could just go ahead and jump to the ship arriving and them requesting transport over.
Everyone is in their dress uniform.
All right. Now,
So-
where is? There it is.
Do I have to be? I'm not even there.
There it is. Okay. What do they
All
look
right.
like?
So the Irisians are obviously a humanoid race, but their distinguishing feature are their ears are about 8 centimeters long, but instead of flowing upward like a Vulcan's, they kind of flow toward the back of their head, almost in like a parallel line to their heads. And the ear is actually purplish in color that makes it really stand out against their skin and their hair. So like the ears are like the main defining feature of them.
These are ear aliens.
I was gonna say. Okay, so all the prosthetics budget went into the ears. Got it.
Right.
Hey, I'll
So
take this toenail aliens any day.
so it is the prime minister obviously in the center, then he's by 3 other members and as he appears on the transporter's bed, he says, "Hello, Captain. Given the mounting tensions on a word, I thought that I should meet with you and explain our situation and hope that you can help us resolve it."
Indeed. Find it kind of odd that your race would deign to reach out to a group that you know nothing about, more or less.
Well, Captain, your reputation in this area is starting to precede you a bit.
What?
I would say look at the ears, but I think that would be a given.
If no one else is going to ask, I'm going to ask, What is this reputation? How is it you know that our captain's? How is it that you know our captain's reputation in this area?
We did have some trade relations with a few species that have come through, and your name does seem to be on the lips of a lot of people around here.
And I sort of nudge Varro. I said, "Oh, how about that?"
Yes,
Shut
I would
up,
like
Pen.
to see what I can
Shut
pick up.
up, Pen. Shut up, Pen. So, I see. Well, that's one of my pressing questions out of the way.
What's their general opinion towards the captain?
They're kind of hopeful that they would that he would be able to help them in their situation. It's kind of like the vibe you're getting, like one of hope, like you kind of feel like they're kind of out of options, and that's what kind of brought them here in dealing with this
All right.
situation.
In that case, would you like to speak with me in private, or would you rather have this discussion with my senior staff? I assure you that you could afford them the same level of trust as you could with me. However, if you would prefer speaking with me alone, I perfectly understand.
Well, Captain, since we came to you for help, I will let you decide the best course of action.
Very well, then. In that case, I say we all head up to the conference room.
Very well, Captain. I will follow your lead.
Right. Varro, I want you to pay very close attention to what's going on here. Considering that the planet is on the brink of a civil war, your expertise might be.
Yes, sir.
So I go up to the conference room.
All right, we'll go ahead and enter the doors there.
So let's just establish now who is in this room. I know the captain, myself, Lieutenant Jula, because you were down there. I'm assuming Dr. Efrix. Pend, you said you're on the bridge. Evans, where are you?
I'd want Evans for this.
Okay.
Again, we're talking war here.
Now, is this technically a first contact? Have we run into these guys before?
No, this is first contact.
We have
Okay.
not.
Then at the while you're all wandering up there at a leisurely pace, I am going to slip over to the ops station in the bridge, and I want to get a brief look at internal sensors. See if there are any interesting characteristics about these new critters.
Very good.
I feel like that would probably be more Efrix's job.
But other than that, it's just what I told you. If you wanted to.
Okay.
Are you trying to get like their biology, or are you trying to scan their ship?
Both. I'd just like to get a little bit of information about who these completely new creatures are on our ship before we start working with them.
Yeah,
I
they're
like how we do ops op, sir.
So they're a typical humanoid race. Other than the distinguishing feature I gave you, there's nothing too glaring about them. Their ship's technology-wise, probably their engines, communication scanners are about the same level, but their weapons and shields would be probably equal to like early 22nd century starships.
Okay. How about life signs? Are all the life signs we're seeing equivalent, or are we looking at multiple types of creature on board?
It's all that one race.
Okay. Well, that's enough to get me started.
Okay. So I say we all take our seat in the conference room.
I come in a little after everybody else.
And
I was busy.
well, if we are all seated, Prime Minister, perhaps you could give us a bit more detailed rundown of the situation on your planet.
Very good, Captain. We are a planet of two species. One that is technologically advanced, and one that still believes in the old ways. The dispute that I have alluded to in our message is over an area of land that we have recently found to be full of resources that can greatly help both of our species. Our scientists at... Go ahead, Captain.
But let me guess. This region has some sort of historical or religious significance.
I'm not sure what the Tova think of the area, but they are different. They do have different beliefs enough. They believe more off of living off the land, respecting nature, preserving natural beauty, and they don't build any technology that we have. For all intents and purposes, Captain, they are rather primitive.
If you'll forgive the rather ignorant question, are you both ruled by the same government, or are you separate societies, separately governed, living apart?
We do tend to have... we do tend to run our societies differently. We are not joined in any manner. We tend to stick to our settlements, our cities, and only venture out to gather resources and things we need to mine our technology and build our ships. The rest of the planet belongs to the Tova. We let them do whatever they want with the planet, preserve it, live off it, and we just stick to our cities.
And they would not consider you their prime minister, if I understand you correctly, sir.
They have their own leadership, that is correct.
So, what element of this is a civil war?
Well, every time we have attempted to gain access to the site, the Tova has blocked our access. And in recent weeks, some of the confrontations have become violent. Now, Captain, we do not want the situation to escalate, but we do not want to halt our progress in our technology either. And I fear that some of our more military-minded citizens think we should just go in with force, but I don't think that will help anyone.
Do you fear a military coup?
No, the military do respect the civilian leadership, so I don't think that they will undermine the civilian government.
Understood.
And what precisely are the resources that you're attempting to acquire from this region?
They have ores that are important to construction our starships. They have plants in this region that we could use to synthesize medicines, and just countless research opportunities in this area.
I was going to say, I agree with Efrix. This doesn't sound like a civil war. It's just a war.
Just to clarify this question, at this point, sir, is there currently a war underway, or merely the threat of a war in the future?
There hasn't been a war with the Tova in centuries. It's just tensions between our two peoples are getting... what's the word I'm looking for? Tensions are starting to mount over this small area of land.
And you said they're a separate species?
That is correct.
Or a separate ideology? Okay.
That they are a separate species.
Now,
Minister, what would you say is your ideal resolution to this conflict? What outcome would you like to see more than any other?
What we would like is for the Tova to give us access to this land, because us having access to the land will benefit both of our species greatly. The medicines alone that we can get from this area will help our entire species, as well as the Tova.
So then you share medicine with the Tova?
We try to.
In what way do you attempt this? Simply...
We try to offer them some of our inoculations to help their young, they're sick, they're disabled. But the Tova seem to think that is against the old ways.
the natural order of things.
Correct. So they reject our attempts to aid them with our medicines.
And you're hoping perhaps that we can provide negotiation between you and the Tova.
A negotiation with whom, sir? I noticed there is no representative for the Tova here.
Now,
This is part of the reason we wanted to meet with you before you arrived at our planet, so that you could kind of get an idea of what we're facing.
yes,
We don't want to escalate this confrontation, and I feel any transgressions by us will just lead to more conflict. We're hoping an outside party will be able to reach the Tova.
Yes, Azula, this meeting was simply to determine whether or not we would be acting in any capacity to assist. As it
I'm simply gathering information, sir.
correct, before we come to a decision as to how we are to proceed. Now, I suppose the next question is, what is the state of this land currently?
Currently, we have not ventured into it other than our initial surveys into the area.
And those surveys were
Mere-
unsuccessful, you say?
Merely scientific, trying to get a what's the word? Words are failing me today. Sorry. Just to get a geographical survey of the area, a survey of the plants, the animals.
And did the Tova object to this?
That's where this all started.
Perhaps I should rephrase my question. Did the Tova object to your surveying the area, or was it only when you attempted to make use of that survey information that they objected?
The Tova seemed to become agitated when we started to enter the area to do our surveys.
Thank you.
Well, if this is about you claiming the resources, then I don't see why they would attack you. This particular area must have some special significance to them. And I look to Barrow. You should try to figure out what this is.
Agreed, sir.
Yes, Captain, I find it odd that they have not. We have done these forays to other parts of the planet to try to find resources and research opportunities, and the Tova have never stopped us like this.
Now, Minister, are the Tova aware that you've reached out to us and asked us to consider being an arbiter in this dispute?
I do not see how. Again, they don't have the same technology as us, so I don't see how they can monitor our communications.
But you have not informed them of your intention to involve us, sir. Is that
I
what
have.
you're saying?
That is correct.
Are we known to them at all, to the best of your knowledge, Minister?
I don't see how.
Just how organized are the Tova?
They're organized into small settlements that cover most of the planet. We tend to be concentrated in only a few large cities near the waterways, so the Tova do have free reign over most of the planet.
And the Tova communicate with each other?
Correct.
How?
Are they unified under one government or one administration?
I believe it's they communicate through messengers. And as far as we know, the Tova have chieftains in charge of these small villages. So it's many different...
So it's possible that this region has a different ideology than the ones you've encountered before.
I suppose it is possible. We don't know much about their belief systems.
Something to keep in mind at least, Minister.
Now, next question, and the one that I sure hope doesn't become necessary, but should a war break out, what are your comparative firepowers?
Unfortunately, Captain, our technology is vastly superior to the Tova. We have phase pistols at our disposal, and I fear they have sticks and stones.
Those phase pistols will do more than break their bones.
Really?
Ripping the captain's chair out. No!
Pend is off on the bridge, and he just stands up suddenly and rips the captain's chair out. I'm not,
When the
can I
captain
throw him in the
asks that question, I glance over at him in a way disapprovingly, as though saying, "I'm not sure this is an appropriate question, sir, but I feel like it's not my place to say so."
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Did I miss something?
No.
I just don't think it's a smart thing to be asking about right now at this stage.
Understood. However, I wanted to make sure.
My question is, if they're not interested in sharing information with you or medicine with you, have you thought of any other ways in which you might be able to compensate them?
We don't know of anything they would want from us. They seem content to be living off the land by themselves. Every attempt we have made to share our technology, to give them medicines, has always been turned away.
And have they had
Then
contact with other races apart from yourselves?
No other race has come to our planet. We always trade with them in space.
Good to know.
Captain, at this point, I suggest that we find one or more representatives of the Tova to speak to them. I think we need to get additional information about the situation here before we can really determine how we will intervene or even whether we should intervene.
Agreed.
Yes, I agree as well.
And I think our best step to do that would be to beam down to the region in question.
Very good, Captain. I'm sure we can arrange for you to beam down to our planet.
Is there a neutral meeting place available, one that has been used to safely conduct transactions, trade agreements, negotiations before?
We have not used anything like that in centuries.
Still, if we are in fact the first alien issues these OVA have met, I would like to take every precaution possible to see that we are not misperceived.
And Grennan looks over at Ajula and says, "Now, Ajula, remember, the entire point of our presence is to act as the location for third-party arbitration."
Yes, sir, but as the minister has told us, this is not a warp-capable species. They may. I would like to be sure that they're willing to consider meeting aboard such an unfamiliar environment as our ship.
Of course, but as things currently stand, we are the neutral territory.
My thoughts as well, sir.
Very well. Is there anything else that we need to know about the situation on, is it just Irarizia?
For what are you
Like
seeking?
the planet name.
Oh,
Irarizia.
the planet name is actually called Tulia.
Tulia.
Yeah, I'll post it.
Okie doke. Oh, EA. All right.
Shall we set a course, sir?
Agreed. Once we're dismissed, I'll have Penn plot a course. Until then, is there anything else that we need to know, Prime Minister?
I believe that is everything that I have been briefed about the situation, Captain.
Okay. Nudge, nudge, Varro.
Yep, I'm doing the thing again.
The thing?
Yes. Does he appear to be holding anything back?
I think I'll type it. Yeah, hold on.
Slit.
The benefits of having a telepath.
Yeah, this is why Grennan and Varro work really well together.
Mm-hmm.
Grennan is extremely disarming.
And Varro just sits there looking innocuous. All right.
Efrix really wants to examine their ears, but knows that would be super rude.
Have you tried to ask it?
That's so great.
This is why I like using ship's internal sensors.
Mhm.
So innocuous.
It is very innocuous. All right. Captain, I do believe we can set a course for Tulia.
Understood.
Will the minister be remaining aboard with us, sir?
If the captain agrees, I would like to stay on board.
Understood. Mr. Evans, please have quarters prepared for the Prime Minister and his entourage.
I will see to it.
Thank you,
We,
Evans.
we thank you very much for your hospitality, Captain.
Well, dismissed.
And I'm assuming everyone leaves aside from
Yep, I stay.
Harmon and myself.
Yep, I stand up, pray to rest, then leave and go to my ops station.
All right. Once everybody's gone, I'll communicate with the captain.
I think that's the doc, and Evans and the ministers left already, so I believe it's
Yeah.
just you.
Right. Captain, he appears to be telling the truth for the most part.
However,
However, there's a
Yeah, in a way.
possibility that there were additional attempts to enter the area, possibly more survey teams. And his conception of survey team, I'm unsure of.
So you think they might have been served? So it's possible that we're talking survey teams in the same breath that the Spanish conquistadors were surveyed.
I'm unfamiliar with that particular reference, sir.
And he thinks for a moment. Said, "Do you know the translation of the word conquistador?"
We have a UT.
Yeah.
Shh.
We're having a cultural exchange moment, Mr. Trill.
And shut up. Oh.
I'm not involved. I'm just over at my ops station setting up still more automated internal sensor scans of the guest quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hang on. Like, my everything is freezing.
Oof.
While my computer stops dying. Give me
Stop
a s-
dying, computer.
Wasn't someone else having tech issues earlier?
People said they couldn't hear me before. I don't know if that's still an issue.
No.
No, last week you were cutting in and out like really bad.
Yeah, but this week you're it's pretty good.
All right.
All right.
Okay, yeah. No. Said so he looks at Varro, he says, "Conquistador. Conqueror."
Hmm.
And with that, Grennan walks back out onto the bridge. It says, "Mr. Pend, what a course for Tulia."
Aye, Captain.
Why did everything move?
Space time.
Because I got told to move the ship.
Space-time anomaly.
Oh no, I was just trying to see where the warp things were.
Yeah.
I do have enter warp.
And I would like to get any information from the ministry staff about just simple topographical maps of the area, where the population centers are, where the disputed territory is. That way I'll have that all ready when the time comes to do sensor sweeps.
Cool. Yeah, if it comes up, I'll give it to you.
All right.
So yeah, do we go to warp?
And by
Engage.
this time, I've come out and joined the captain.
So I don't know which one you wanted. So that one we got the Voyager warp. I don't know if you want that or the Galaxy warp.
Either's fine, really. We're
I
probably
don't know.
closer to Voyager than Galaxy.
All right, cool.
No, I kind of like to feel the galaxy warp myself.
No, I agree, but
I mean, honestly,
I don't
like there could be a better Voyager warp one, but it's
Mhm.
fun. Uh,
I insist on the proper noise. I will not tolerate anything but the exact right noise.
well,
a noise for a Luna
it's-
class ship.
it's the quick warp Voyager noise, and not the slow wind up one.
I mean,
But I think we'll drop you out of warp at the planet.
if you want the real noise, you can do it yourself going zoom with air.
Complete with sound effects.
We'll
From
get-
now
we'll
on,
go-
Pind makes the warp sounds. That's his job as pilot.
So Penn is in charge of the warp noise, and Evans is in charge of being the communications boy.
Yep.
And as always, I'm in charge of giving the long monologues.
I guess I can do the pew pew weapons noises then, and the spy music.
Anyhow, so we drop out of warp.
Yep, and I sent something to somebody.
Of course you did. Furious typing.
I can't even think as fast as he's typing.
Yeah, right.
That's the sound of my last two brain cells trying to work together.
Now, we gotta have somebody else who do the door sounds, I think. Has anybody got a good door sound?
There's a door sound.
It's very close to the sound of the hyperspray makes.
Lieutenant Ajula, I did send you a message. I'm just making
Yeah.
sure you got.
We have
All right,
door. We have door sounds. See?
Yeah, we have
Okay,
warp
who's on the
sounds
bridge?
too.
Who's on the bridge with me?
Probably all the command staff.
Okay, Captain, we're getting a hail
Only
from
if
the
you call
planet.
me.
They're asking for the Prime Minister.
Oh. Mr. Evans, please go down. Actually, hang on. No, I'll just call down to the Prime Minister's quarters. Prime Minister, your presence requested up at the bridge.
Very well, Captain. Have we arrived?
Yes, we have.
All right, I will be up there momentarily, Captain. And we'll go ahead and jump to him entering the bridge, escorted by the security detail. You asked to see me, Captain?
Yes. We have received a hail from the planet. They appear to be asking for you.
Very good, Captain. I'll take it here if you don't mind.
Very well. On screen.
And on screen is a picture of one of the Iorisians, and he'll talk. Prime Minister, if I could talk. Prime Minister, a skirmish has taken place at the site. The Tova attacked several of our survey teams, killing one and injuring a few others. There is more, sir. One of the survey teams has not reported in, and we assume they are missing. What are your orders, sir? And the Prime Minister responds, stand by for now. And he kind of gives a big sigh. As you can see, Captain, things are starting to escalate. Perhaps you could find our missing survey team as well. I fear that any transgressions by us will be met with violence, but perhaps you will be able to reach the Tova and find our missing team.
Very well. Do you have a general region for which the ship form a search?
I assume that they were surveying the site, and it was the area you were talking about beaming down to anyway.
Very well.
Perhaps you should start your search there.
Lieutenant Ajula?
Minister, perhaps I'm misremembering, but I was left with the impression that you were sending teams to survey the disputed site.
We were still in the process of trying to survey the site when I met with you.
Minister, I would suggest you withdraw your survey teams for the time being. We can assist you with this if it is not possible for you to withdraw them yourselves.
That will not be necessary. And he looks back in the screen. Please be sure that all of our surveying teams have been recalled from the area. Very well, Prime Minister, and the communications cut off.
Mr. Azula, see what you find.
Yes, sir. So I am scanning the site for, well, I wanted to see life forms, and I want to get a distribution of where the different life forms are.
Yep.
Life forms.
You processed the life forms.
Hold on. What kind of interference?
Exactly.
Captain, I'm having trouble scanning the site. There's a whole lot of interference here, and I'm having trouble determining even what's causing it.
Czar.
This seems to happen to a lot of the planets we've been here since I arrived on ships, sir.
Say, do you want me to fly near it? I'll crash it and I'll find the interference.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We could just crash down and be gods. It's fine.
And then we'll sure
Tell me
find
what's causing
something
the
if we
interference,
crash.
because this is irritating me. I like scanning things, and this is preventing me from doing the thing that I do well, scanning things.
Penn likes landing things. He also doesn't, have it happen very often, though.
Yeah, give him a shuttlecraft.
No,
that
that's not a good
lands.
idea.
In that case, you having so I take it that transporting down to the planet's surface without sensors would be a very bad idea.
Captain, if we can't even determine where we're targeting, I wouldn't want to risk it.
Understood. I think we're gonna have to take a shuttlecraft down.
But is there anything I can do here to determine what's causing this interference? This is bothering me. I like
Yeah.
scanning things.
I know, but it's a plot point of why I'm not letting you scan.
Sure.
I need you guys on the planet, so I'm making sure you get down there.
We need us on
Recommend we take down the
all
Kismet
of
and
us.
land on the planet.
I know I shouldn't be asking this meta question.
See,
but
Mr. Evans, that is a good question.
That is a
How
good question.
localized is it?
Ooh.
It is localized to just the site.
Okay.
okay.
Fascinating.
So the rest of the planet you are able to scan and get an idea of what the planet's like.
Prime Minister,
Okay.
what...
Do I get to roll any dice here, or are you simply going to tell me things?
It depends what you're trying. It depends what you're trying to learn. I mean,
Well, for one thing, I just want to verify that what they're telling me is true. I asked them for topographical information about the planet and information about the distribution of the population, and I want to use my scanners to independently determine whether they've been truthful with me up to this point.
yeah. So when you scan the planet, there are a few technologically advanced cities that are, as he said, they're located on like riverways and waterways. And you're able to scan them, and most of the Iriscians are located around those. And then the rest of the planet, it's like grasslands, forested areas, a few mountain ranges here or there. And it does seem to have another race, which you assume are the Tova, spread
Okay.
out in small groups all over the planet.
Okay, and if we're looking at a survey team being captured, then I would expect to see, I'm looking for signs of a small minority of one life sign around a larger group of another life sign.
In the areas you are trying to scan, you do not see that.
Okay, this suggests to me that either the survey team is dead or they're in an area that we can't scan effectively.
Which
Or
is a
they're
singular
being held
location.
independently, or there are not members of the kidnapping species around where they're being held.
They could definitely be in the interfered region.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm saying, isn't it quite possible that they're located within the region of interference?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Captain. Either they're dead or they're not being held by members of the different life sign, or they're being held in the area of interference.
Agreed. Now, this area of interference troubles me greatly. All things considered, the Tova shouldn't have the technology to be able to create a pattern of interference like this. Wouldn't you agree, Prime Minister?
I wholeheartedly agree, Captain, and this interference has never come up on any of our scans before.
Unless it's something biological. Or
What would that
ancient.
have to do with
that-
anything, Doctor?
Prime Minister, what equipment did your survey team take in with them?
Just basic scanners.
Captain, at this point, I suggest that we make a priority of establishing contact with representatives from the Tova. I would hate to be for us to be seen as taking sides in a conflict when we have not had the chance to communicate with them.
I agree with the Lieutenant.
In that case,
Minister, how is it that you customarily communicate with the Tova?
All our communications have been face-to-face. They do not have any types of communication equipment.
Do you
Again,
have any suggestions as to how we might establish peaceful contact with the Tova and make our peaceful intentions clear from the
that
outset?
Izula, as far as things go, I think we're gonna have to just go down there and hope to meet one of them face to face.
I was thinking we might beam down some leaflets.
No such luck. We're going to do a diplomatic mission. We're gonna have to do this right. Now, as mentioned, we don't want to appear to be taking sides. So, Prime Minister, if it's all the same to you, I'd like to ask that you kindly return back to your capital and allow us to handle the situation here. If we need anything, we'll ask.
Very good, Captain. I look forward to hearing from you again.
I had one question.
Of course, Doctor.
Before we decided that we were the neutral space, you at one point had a neutral meeting spot for your...
Yes, but it's not been used in centuries.
But
I
where is it?
I doubt any of the Tova would remember where it was.
Well, it seems to me that they're very steeped in history, are they not?
We believe so, yes.
So then surely some place of that kind of significance would remain in their histories, oral or written or what have you.
Minister, do you have a better idea for a site at which to attempt to make contact?
I do not.
So my question then is, just in case it's necessary, what is this location? Does it still exist?
I am not sure, Captain. I will have to check our histories.
Very good. In that case, that's your home. and it gives a sly nod.
And the Prime Minister just kind of nods back and exits to the turbo lift.
Okay. If the Captain or Commander Varro is still there, then I want to say that, Captain, I suspect there may be something more going on at this site than they told us. If it's possible to make contact with members of the survey team that are still available to speak with us, I reckon we...
It will not.
Okay, so there will be stuff to do on the ship.
Right.
I'm probably going to stay on the ship and take control of a secondary character that goes down.
Okay, yeah. So
Because,
here's what
I'm bothered by the whole sensor thing. I want to make sure my sensors are working as well as they could be.
So in that case, I want me.
Before you do, another thing like the Sarah crew likes to do is they like to send the entire player team on an away team. For the love of God, because one day I'm gonna get annoyed by it and I'm gonna make it a deadly encounter and just kill everybody. So,
This is why
for the love of God, don't do that.
People, there are lots of supporting characters.
Yes,
We can leap into them and use them. They're great.
they are very
no,
good.
Well, I'm
Develop them, people.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying though that's why I didn't leave the planet with Evans last week.
And we did, in fact, leave you on the planet last time, as I recall.
Yeah. yeah, no, that was the thing. We assumed that there was still stuff to do on the planet. So, anyhow, moving on.
Okay.
So, as things stand, I would like to bring Dr. Efrix and Lieutenant Evans down to the planet with me.
That's all, sir?
Actually, no. I will also bring down what's his name? No, that's not. That's the hat.
What a
Oh,
guess?
there is a new secondary character who I think may be well suited to this guy. I just added him.
Oh, who? Oh, Kel
Suitland, yes.
Actually, yeah. Let's bring him.
Yeah, it's good.
Bruno Suitland.
He transferred from the Ericsson not long after I did.
Oh, understood. Yeah, I believe I read over his service record. I think he will do just fine.
Yeah, out of character, I punched him in the face. We're friends now.
Good shit.
Yeah, he happened to be, yeah, he was assigned to watch the brig when I was there, and we had nothing to do but talk.
So, in that case, yeah, it'll be the four of us, and Varro, I leave you in charge of the ship. You have the con.
Thank you, sir.
Well, then, I guess we are all gonna head down to the shuttle bay. And which shuttle are we gonna take? We have shuttles.
We do have shuttles.
And I got the pictures right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I know, they're really cool.
This is pretty. Oh, my God.
You're welcome.
You went all out.
Yep, I was bored.
Jeez, man.
And yeah, so despite me normally liking the blow up shuttles on the way down, the choice does not matter in this case.
Okay. Not gonna be the Angelou because it doesn't have the capacity for it, or the Byron. I'm thinking the Neruda.
Yeah.
Neruda seems like the all-around thing.
It can take 8 people. It's easy to repair.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that'll do.
All right, excellent. So yeah, we'll go ahead and skip to shuttle launch, and you guys flying through the atmosphere and landing on the planet. Probably you said you were going near the site?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And you land your shuttle at the site, probably right in the middle of it, I would assume.
Right?
Wait, what? I thought we were landing near it.
Near in doesn't really matter.
Yeah, how big of a site is this, by the way?
Like 2 kilometers,
Okay.
like a 2 kilometer square. It's not very big.
Now, is this
I would
like an
suggest landing
island?
outside.
I'd like to get clarification on what exactly we're doing here. Are we trying to make contact with the...
Okay, so we're sticking with the away team. So you are not on the away team.
Yeah, and my new character, who just, the new enlisted guy who just put on the away team, would like to ask whoever his immediate superior is what we're doing here and what our objectives are.
Yes. We are attempting to make contact with the Tova, first and foremost. We need to find out what's going on here. Hopefully we can find Tova, we can find out what happened to the Irisians' missing scout.
Sounds good to me, sir.
It's our first order of business. Dr. Efrix, getting any interesting readings off the plants here?
All right, so hold on. I got a little something to read. The away team lands on the surface, and you land in the site, and you find it to be made entirely of forest. Forest is plural. What is peculiar about this particular grouping of forest is that it seems to be multiple types of forest. If you move 100 meters in one direction, it becomes a tropical rainforest. If you move 100 meters more, it becomes a deciduous temperate forest. If you move 100 more meters, you seem to enter a swampland.
Ooh, wait, you ever seen anything like this before?
I've seen a planet where all the light breathes pure argon, but nothing like this.
It doesn't seem like it should be possible. What's the climate like?
It depends on which forest you're in. So if you're in the
So
tropical
in the-
rainforest, it feels
yeah.
like a rainforest. If you're in the temperate forest, it feels like a temperate forest. If you're in a swampland, it feels like a swampland. With
this
all the
is all
sights,
in that-
smells, noises, everything associated with those.
And that's all in this 2-kilometer square?
Correct.
Now,
It-
if we
Wow.
try and glance down into tricorder, can we pick up anything, or is the interference just wiping everything?
Okay, so I believe the captain said for the doc to make a scan for stuff.
Yes.
Yes, I would like the
I can-
doctor to scan.
I can
request.
do the things maybe. Where's my
Okay.
character sheet? Hang on.
All right, so this one is going to be reason or control plus science or medicine. And I got to find where he put the other thing. Oh, and why do I still have the ship noise going?
Reason medicine?
That's-
What's the yeah,
Oh, I forgot to give you a difficulty. Difficulty
Yeah.
1.
difficulty 1. Okay. And
Yay, generating momentum.
yeah, none of my
I'd say,
Woohoo.
I'd say you have a xenobiology focus.
That's true.
And you could have Evans
that-
assist there with his botany focus.
Ooh, that is on
Luke.
loop, and I don't want it to be.
Yeah. That was going to be my question. Evans has the botany focus, right?
That is correct.
But you also
Well, Kel was just having fun frolicking around.
but you also have a xenobiology focus, and that probably
Yeah.
helps.
Frolicking.
I mean, either way.
And I'm also
I
terrible at science.
Okay. Well, he's going to let me use. You said I could use medicine?
Yes.
I mean, my science isn't bad either. So, yeah, we'll go with that.
All right, so you guys bank a momentum,
Oh yeah.
and then I have to give Doctor the information.
Woo.
There you go, Doc. Bam.
Botany Bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Captain, I'm not picking up any humanoid life signs other than us. There's a series of caves about 500 meters northwest of here, though. So maybe there's something interfering with life signs from there.
I see.
I guess if you're all just scanning, then I, talk to whoever's in charge of the captain or Evans and say, hey, aren't we here to make contact with those other life forms of the Tova? Means we know if they're here or where we can get to where they are.
Well, according to the doctor, there aren't any life signs nearby. So that complicates matters.
Yeah.
I thought it was just this limited area where we couldn't scan properly.
Yes, but our thought was that there were likely not only Tova, but Rizians as well.
Maybe this is a bit above my pay grade, sir, but shouldn't we try meeting them someplace where there's been less immediate conflict lately?
While
Maybe at one of their little communities, or places where we know their leaders are.
well, I'd like to gather as much information as I can first.
As you say, sir.
In that case, Mr. Evan, any sign of structures nearby?
That is an excellent question, Edward.
Roll me reason or control with your science or security.
Yes.
Difficulty?
Oh, good question.
1.
Hell yeah. Get another moment.
All right, who am I sending this
finding
to?
buildings can be the same roll as shooting a phaser.
Oh.
Hey, I'm good at shooting phasers. Why aren't I good at scanning things?
Yeah, hold on. Disregard the first one. I was just trying to pull up because I had to adjust something.
I'm not detecting any buildings, but I am seeing odd readings from a series of caves, about half a kilometer to the northwest.
What kind of reading?
I can't tell anything specific about them.
Can we spend momentum to get anything specific about them?
You cannot.
God damn it.
Are those the same caves that I was picking up?
Were they?
Can I compare like my readings with his readings and see if they?
Well, I mean, by all means, roleplay.
Evans.
Well, if my boss, Lieutenant Evans, is here, then I want to walk over to him and say, boss, there's clearly been some kind of a conflict here lately. I'm not sure it's smart for all of us to be going searching around these caves, and we haven't even made contact with the other aliens on this planet yet. Sir?
That'll be Evans. So, do you have a response, Evans?
Oh, I didn't realize I was the boss here. I thought you were here.
I work for you. I'm a security enlisted guy, so you're my immediate boss.
Okay. Didn't catch the whole question.
I mean, I figure if somebody's going to persuade the captain not to do this, it's going to be you, not the petty officer second class here who's new.
He doesn't think we should be going snooping around without making contact first, was the gist of the question.
Sir, I'm really not sure this is smart.
I'm inclined to agree with you, though I did initially try to nudge us to not land here in the first place. But
well, sir, if this is what we're doing, I'll go in with you. But if we're up to me, this isn't what we'd be doing.
I suppose it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to ask the captain about this.
Go ahead. What are you going to ask me?
Captain, some people here are wondering if perhaps we should limit the amount of time we spend here before we make contact with the
Tova?
Tova. Okay, I was thinking Tula. Some of us are thinking that we should maybe limit the amount of time we spend in this area before we contact the Tova.
I nod vigorously as he says this.
Now, the issue with that is, given how decentralized Tova appear to be, we really have no way of knowing which group is related to the matter at hand.
Permission to speak freely, sir. I'm Petty Officer Second Class Bruna Suitland.
Very well.
Sir, I'm not sure that the other creatures of life forms on the planet, the Tova, are even aware of our. They may simply, through lack of experience, assume that we are hostile.
Well, we have to make first contact somehow. Whether it be at one of their other villages or here, it's gonna have to be done.
I worry that they may think we're some trick sent by the Arizians. Is that how you say their name? I think so. and it might spark further hostilities between the two peoples. Or possibly trigger something that if that survey team is alive, they may not be for long if they see us.
Well, not making contact is out of question at this point.
Yes.
We're going to have to make contact one way or the other.
Agreed. And it seems like if there's going to be people anywhere, it's going to be some cave system, which I think might be similar to the one that I found and that Evans found evidence of.
Exactly. Appear that is our next destination on our way to solving this little mystery.
Evans, where did you say you saw a cave system? Let's see if they're similar.
The system I found was to the northwest, about half a kilometer away.
Yeah. Mine too.
Well, then it would appear that we
Hey.
have a common point of interest.
The readings are strange.
How so?
Not sure. But
Ah, yes, in classic Star Trek fashion.
We have strange readings. How are they strange? Well, they're just strange, sir.
they just are.
Why don't
They're
we ask
so-
Ajula? He might know why they're strange.
Yeah,
Captain Br-
where exactly did we put down? Did we put down like right in the middle?
What do you mean, where we set down our shuttle?
Yeah.
I believe. you can
Sorry, I was
see
muted.
slightly outside.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted. It's not a big deal where you sit down. Like you could be in the middle, you could be to the edge and walked in. It really doesn't matter.
I suppose what I'm trying to infer is whether or not the caves are within the area as well.
Oh, they are. They are.
Okay.
In that case, Captain Brennan to Kismet.
Kismet here, sir.
Hold on.
Kismet maybe
hold on.
not here, sir.
I was just about to check whether we had communications in here.
Mhm.
Hold on. Oh, nope, you still do. Okay.
Huh.
Might have tipped my hand, but it's okay. Yes,
You
communications
don't
go through.
say.
The moment we entered the caves, I was going to check.
Comms go through.
Here, sir.
Commander Varro, this is Captain Grennan. We've managed to make touchdown safely. We found quite an interesting series of ecosystems here. A number of different types of forests, all in a very concentrated place. Forests that ecologically shouldn't be able to exist next to each other.
Fascinating. And your scans confirm these are actual forests, not some sort of holographic system?
Indeed, the doctor confirmed.
We're still unable to scan in that vicinity, but your tricorders have had no issue.
Do we hear Ajula swearing in the background?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, as far as this goes, we really have no explanation for it. We were barely able to find this information out through our own experience down here. However, we were unable to find other life signs indicative of higher intelligence, like Tova, that we're looking for. However, Lieutenant Evans and the doctor discovered signs of what appeared to be a cave system underneath this region. It's possible that minerals in the cave system are blocking our sensor readings. So if Tova are anywhere in this region, have to be down there.
I'd advise caution, sir.
Understood. In that case, we will make contact with you again within an hour. Not, That is your sign that something has gone horribly wrong.
I'll have an away team standing by, sir.
That's Varro, I know him. Captain Grennan out.
Kismet out. Lieutenant Ajula, see if you can get visual confirmation of that strange force the captain was describing.
By visual confirmation, you realize I'm still on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
To
I'm
clarify,
seeing
sir,
if we
you're
can
asking
get
me
a visual sensor of that area.
you're asking me to use a big telescope, sir.
That's correct, Lieutenant.
Let's fire up the automated telescope. Zoom, 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 zoom.
And, and you are able to use the view screen to kind of zoom in on the area and get a look at it. And the area is as the captain describes, the different types of forests and swamplands all kind of being separate but in the same vicinity.
Ooh, there is
Now, Lieutenant,
question. Yes.
this is something to keep in mind. Visual sensors can be useful. Something for the future.
I'm well aware of that, sir. In fact, I keep a small telescope in my pocket.
That's called a spyglass.
Varro looks at you and just nods.
There was this one time I was, beamed down to the surface of a planet, couldn't make contact with the ship, and I was thinking, okay, how about we look up in the area of the sky where the ship should be and see if it's actually there?
And was it, Lieutenant?
Unfortunately, it was not, sir.
Well, I'm glad you were able to make that confirmation.
It was an interesting day, sir.
Sounds like it.
So probably at about this point, we're getting to the caves.
Yep, that sounds like
Okay.
a perfect segue into it.
Once we're about 10 feet or 20 feet into the caves, then I want to tap the communicator and say, Suitland to Kismet, comm check.
And they reply.
Okay.
Kismet here.
All right, so I got a little bit. So the away team you guys make your way into the caves, and you kind of go through like a little bit of a winding cave. Small bank left, maybe a dip right. Maybe down a level, and eventually you find yourselves in a large cavern.
Well, if this is a new scene, then I get to upgrade my supporting character.
It is not a new scene,
Oh no, it's
and it's
No,
episode.
no.
It's episode anyway.
yeah.
And this is the first time it was brought in, so it wouldn't actually get an upgrade.
Right.
And-
It would be next episode that it gets brought up.
And you only have to spend crew support for your NPC when he actually does something.
When he
He's
makes a
giving
roll.
very useful advice.
When he actually makes a roll, then we have to spend.
We should clarify when he does something mechanical.
Yes, I didn't mean not useful, as in you're not helping.
No, not useful as in he's being ignored, but useful as in he's trying.
Being useful as in he's affecting the mechanics of the game.
Right.
All right, so yes, the away team, you find yourselves in a large cavern.
How large
And
are we talking?
Oh god, it's 200 meters by. I don't know, maybe 200 meters by 100 meters. Think about the size of like a football stadium, like the football field. It's about that wide and that long, and maybe 50. Yeah, let's go 50 meters high. Big echoey chamber.
Wow,
Well, my character says, cool.
it's like being in the middle of a gothic cathedral.
Is this a dry cave or a wet cave?
It's dry. It's just
Echo.
that's exactly what it does.
Roof collapses. Roof collapses. Roof collapses.
Bats.
Hell's been on shore
Just-
leave, so these
Just
kind of-
alien bats everywhere.
Have it- Hmm.
You know, they're like regular bats, except their ears they stick out straight back from their heads and they're purple.
I never did think about this. I could have made them descended from bats.
Ooh.
That would have been
That'd be
interesting.
cool.
Oh, well. Yeah, oh, well. Missed
Well, by the way,
opportunity.
if nobody's done this yet, then I want to once again do a comm check.
It still works. See, now he's paranoid.
Yeah.
We're in an area where
See,
sensors don't
can I-
work.
see,
We're
you gave it
alone.
away.
We're entering a cave. So naturally, I'm thinking, let's do comm checks.
Can I roll to see if I can find any life signs now that we're in the cave system?
Yeah, I'll let you make the same roll.
Okay.
But before you do that, what is everybody else doing?
Hang on. So I have the one thing I want to do
Sorry.
because I love this. Because I have the opportunity now. I want to see if this works. So Brennan walks into the middle of the chamber and he just goes, "Hello!" Did that work?
Nice.
It echoed.
Well, one way or another, we're gonna find those life signs now.
Have we ever gotten a physical description of the Tova?
No, we haven't physically seen them yet.
We haven't made any effort, any communications with them at all, which means we're just simply inviting an attack and misunderstanding.
Do we want to ask the Arisians what they look like so we know what we're looking for?
Well,
Nah.
Just a thought.
All right, Doc, you guys banked 2 momentum, and I sent you a bit of information.
Yes.
this would be, cinematically, it'd be super cool if, it was one of those things where, Barra was having a conversation with the Prime Minister about, what they look like, and it's some fearsome description as we're being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
But you sent the Prime Minister back to the planet.
No, I know, but it's if he's having, a conversation on the view screen or whatever.
I love how his voice still echoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, still echoed a little bit there.
Oh, is
Right.
it still?
Yeah, it's still
A little
on.
bit. Like, it's not major, it's still a little tiny, like, echo.
That's
Little bit of reverb. It's fine.
need to have reverb.
It kind of worked. If we could have done that to everybody that's in here, that would be awesome.
Is that
Yeah.
better?
Yeah, I think so.
That's odd.
Okay, so the doctor has information. The captain's in the center. What are the other two at doing?
I'm probably sticking close to Evans since I'm not really sure exactly what I should be doing, and I kind of want to stick by someone else who thinks there may be a threat, just to be on the safe side.
Use Evan as a human shield.
Well, I just like keep a lookout, stay close to the other guy who I work for, who I sort of trust.
I am also looking for life signs, knowing that that's already being done. But it's like, what else am I gonna do?
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. What was that, Evans?
I'm looking for life signs. I can't think of anything else to do, despite the fact that it's already being done.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Now, are you giving me any orders, boss?
Evans, I'm just to make this fun, I'm actually going to give you the same information
Okay.
that I
And to
gave.
answer your question, Jula, no, I barely know what to do myself.
Sir,
whatever-
Julian's an ex-officer and he's on the bridge.
So I think that Doc got enough successes for everybody, so I'll give you that information as well, Evan.
Okay, I'll consider me an assist on this roll if that comes up.
Well, whatever those readings are, they seem to be centralized here. Still can't tell exactly what they are.
Do we have any engineers on this team?
Nope.
No.
Any science officers, or did we leave them all behind?
We left
Doc.
them all
I mean,
behind. Well,
I
No,
have
but-
science stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Efrix actually knows how to science.
I do. I could science instead of medicine.
I
if we
cannot
think that
science. I
would
have
make a
science
difference.
Because Evans is sitting
Science
over
is
here
not
with a
gonna beat
reason
my
science
super
of not.
strengths.
What is my reason science?
Can I try it?
13.
12.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue on. So as you guys search and look around the cabin, you hear this loud shifting of rocks, and the ceiling literally starts to fall around you.
Oh, we walked into something's mouth.
When the dust settles, you find that you have been separated from the rest of the team. And at this point,
Oh no!
at this
Okay,
point,
looking around,
I
do
am.
see anyone around?
Hold on. At this point, I am going to go back to the ship.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And this will be the next scene, so I am going to make you guys lose a momentum.
Commercial
What's
break.
up, guys?
So we're down to 3.
And so here's the little thing about this next part. So the next part is going to be one giant scene, even though there's going to be different things going on, obviously. So once you take a character, you cannot switch to another one.
Oh.
Because it's the same scene. So once you pick who you're going to play for this scene, that's who you're playing. So you will not be able to jump into a support character for this scene unless you pick that support character from the start. So before I go any further, I just need to know who's playing what.
And
I think I'm going to play my default character, Malco Ajula. I just sort of figured, assuming that Evans is still playing his character, that he'll just order my support character around.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And everyone else is playing theirs?
Yeah, we're all.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got to find. Ooh, I forgot to write something. Okay. I hope this works.
I'm just imagining like the hokiest practical effects for the cave collapsing. Like, the hokey special effects that only Star Trek can have.
We're talking foam rocks.
Styrofoam rocks. Yeah.
Just foam rocks that hit people and then just people kind of bounce.
Yeah, the rocks kind of bounce off of them.
The stumble back as boulders are falling on you move.
It's definitely not interns standing above the eye of the camera and throwing them at you.
Right.
I just had to type something up because I forgot to type something. Boom.
Okay, Commander Varro, you need to see this. There's a Borg sphere on an intercept course with us. Recommend we go to Red Alert now.
Red Alert.
Where's my noises?
There you go.
Shields
All right,
up.
I heard enough of that.
Lieutenant, get me a scan. What speed is that Borg cube incoming at?
I'm sorry, what?
Borg sphere. That, not cube. That.
My adrenaline's going way too much to bother over us. And that.
Sorry.
Okay.
What?
What kind of task is this?
So the ship is at high impulse.
Time to intercept.
You got one task, Commander.
Okay,
and it's,
what is
and,
the,
and it's going to be on top of you.
Okay, so let's assess. It's how about we scan for weakness right now? That seems like the thing I want
Agreed,
to do.
Lieutenant. And I am moving to the tactical station because that's missing right now.
Okay, so Rampley, what kind of a task is a scan for weakness?
It's someone has it posted somewhere.
Let's see, Starship.
So like I have handouts for the like under space combat, there's a ops position and task, and that should have all of your task roles in it.
Control plus science, difficulty 1, a ship assisted by a ship's sensors plus security.
Which means
Control
the difficulty
plus
goes
science.
down to 0.
Difficulty
Yep.
1, and it is using my focus.
So this the task increases by 1 for each range beyond close. So I think we are going to actually make this long range. So this will be a difficulty 3.
Mhm.
Okay, and is that the
Up
3
to
under
2.
task roll?
So difficulty isn't on your sheet.
Yeah. So for task roll, it's always 2 dice unless you
Okay.
buy more with momentum. When I
Okay,
say
I
when I
want
say
to
when, when I,
introduce another character, a supporting character up here to assist me. I want to bring in Newland Vux
Wait,
here to have her help me with this.
I don't think you can.
yeah, I would not do that
No.
in this situation.
This is an achievable roll because of the way our ship is set up. So
Yeah.
you'll be rolling 2, the Kismet will be rolling 1, and the difficulty will be 2 because of our sensors.
We
Yeah, and
also
I mean,
have
you could
momentum.
spend a momentum. Yeah.
Okay.
And wait a second, is that difficulty 3 including the ship's bonus?
no, I did not include the ship's bonus.
So it's only difficulty 2,
Right.
Correct.
which makes this quite attainable. And
Okay, so long story short, I am rolling 2 dice.
3 dice.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
2 dice.
And the
and then the ship will roll security sensors.
security sensors. Let me pull
And
that
it-
up.
Yeah, I just rolled those.
Commander got it, and the task is not successful.
Ugh.
So then it'll be the Borg's turn, unless someone has quick to action.
I do.
Penned.
And
Penn would like to start evasive maneuvers without anyone saying anything.
Yeah, I think that's a prudent course of action.
So, I'm pretty sure I've got a focus to cover evasion or just how to handle a starship. My evasive action is Daring Con, difficulty 1.
Borg spears?
They're really pointy. Their entire purpose for being is to make you as pointy as they are.
And I need one from the ship, which is Structure Con,
And what's the difficulty on this?
difficulty 1.
Okay. And it costs the power, correct?
Only for the first time I do it.
First time, yeah.
So I need a Structure Con from the ship if anyone's handling the ship.
I can handle the ship structure.
Okay, well, you are successful. And the ship will actually move to close range of you.
Oh.
And it'll pass back to you.
All right. The ship has not made. Interesting. I'd like to confirm that this is a Borg sphere.
So give me reason or insight, security. I'm gonna make this difficulty 4.
Site security. And how
Yeah,
does does ship assist?
No,
Mm,
because what I'm thinking this role is different than him trying to scan it.
yeah, I'm not trying to scan it right now. Can I use a focus of strategy and tactics?
Yes.
Okay.
We also have free momentum if you need to spend
Yeah.
it.
I'm spending 1 momentum.
That puts us down to 2.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. No, well, that didn't work.
All right. So then the ship will go. I'm gonna spend a threat
Of course you are.
to give me 3 dice. So you're close range now, which is fine.
And
Your difficulty 3 to hit, right?
correct, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there's that.
Goddamn.
Weapons security, correct? Yeah.
What?
Well,
Well, shit. Well, shit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what does dampening do?
I think it does an energy drain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to be sure.
Yeah.
Where's my
mean-
weapons thing?
We only take 2 damage from that, I think.
Yeah, I might change that though. Oh, I should see where it hit you too.
Oh,
There it is.
Oh, that's not good.
To think, I was just about to suggest using those.
That's a
To
bad.
leave.
Where's the weapons? Are they in the ship stuff? Probably. Oh, here it is, dampening.
Have fun, you guys.
Okay, so you're actually going to lose 1 power for each effect I roll. So
1 power.
yep, you lose 1 power. And then I am going to spend. So you're taking 2 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to spend 3 threat. No, wait. I'm going to spend. I forgot there's more stuff I could do.
Oh no.
I'm going to spend 1 to give it penetration. And I'm going to spend 1 for bonus damage, so that should make it 5.
Ugh.
And you'll take a breach to the engines.
All right.
And then, so it'll actually be their move again. I'm going to spend 1. And they're going to try to use their cutting beam, but it does not penetrate your shields.
All
I knew
right.
there was a reason we had those.
Yeah, shields are good.
Mhm. And
Con?
don't forget, you guys have the fast targeting systems.
Oop, it shouldn't be that. Well, that was for something else, but yeah. I'm done now. So it'll actually pass back to you guys.
All right. Con, prepare to get us out of here.
Who's at con?
Penned.
Penned.
And who's at
But-
tactical? I thought Penn was
I'm
at
at tactical
Ah,
because our tactical is not here right now. And also, Ed, did you just do 2 moves for them by spending threat, or did you do 2 moves for them by?
I actually took 3 turns because you guys were done with your turns.
Okay. So my analysis counted as a turn then.
Correct, because it was a
Okay.
task.
So I don't think you even have to direct Penn to get you out of here. He can just do it.
Yeah, he could just do it.
Because now it's the next round.
Mm-hmm.
So are we cutting and running?
we need a decision, Commander.
We are right now.
Okay, I would like to go to warp.
Let's see if they pursue.
So
Yeah,
as you engage the warp engines, you hear the warp engines wind up, but you don't move.
Oh, no.
And Penn, by all counts, you should be at warp.
Okay, I'd like to do everything I can at the op station to figure out what just happened and why.
Yeah.
So,
Ops?
is that
What
gonna
happened?
be a reason? I assume that's a reason engineering, is it not?
So you're trying to see why you didn't go to warp?
Yeah.
I'll let you roll it, but you probably won't like the explanation I give you.
Oh, no.
It's probably got
Let's
something to do
find
with
out.
the
Is that,
dampening.
that is reason
So,
engineering.
so I will make this reason and engineering a difficulty 4 task.
jeez. What are your
Will
talents?
will my focuses hazard sensor systems or escape and avoidance apply?
Let me give him a look really quick.
Also quantum mechanics, if there's anything to do with that.
So you're trying to see why the engines did not work.
Is it because they got shot?
That and dampening, so more than likely if
Well,
hit
no,
the
that's-
engine.
Well, to restore the engines is just like a minor action.
And can I get an assist from a secondary character in engineering? Like, the chief engineer.
I could just say Penn forgot to restore the damn system before he made the task roll.
Just go with that.
Okay. Oh. And didn't restore the system.
But I will let you make the roll anyway. And I think sensor systems should apply here.
Okay.
And then the ship could probably use engineering sensors.
So that means it's difficulty 3. So that does it.
I should have used constantly watching to help with some of these. I forgot about.
Well, you succeeded. So.
Okay.
Oh, and hang on a moment. Wait, just before you do that, I just want to remind him, if I'm not mistaken, remember, Azula? Whenever you succeed at a task, you do have the option to roll a challenge die and gain us momentum. But it does carry the risk of giving Ed threat.
Which one do?
I also have untapped potential, which gives me allows me to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's do that. Let us do that. 1 challenge die.
Don't forget to hit enter when you roll it.
It looks like he did, so
Okay.
he just didn't get anything.
Okay. Cool. So your scans of the engine show that the engine, minus the damage, the minor damage from the impact, are working properly. So there's no reason why the ship should not be moving.
Oh, even with the damage.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, if no one else,
So there's no mechanical reason why the ship should not be moving.
Huh.
okay, so if no one else is going to ask, then I'm going to say Ajula to engineering.
Go ahead, Bridge.
I can't determine why we haven't been able to go to warp. What do you do down there?
We're trying to figure out the problem now. It looks like everything's working.
All right.
Commander, what are we doing?
Well, if we can't run, then we fight. I am
So
firing at the sphere.
it would be so technically, it should have been their turn after Penn's move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I kind of let you guys go twice. So I got to let them go twice.
Oops.
And it's now 2 to hit us because I didn't do evasive action.
No, it hasn't come around. Oh wait, it has come
It
around to
did.
turn
Yep.
again.
Yeah,
Damn.
because you told me to warp.
I'm going to spend a threat by a dice.
Oh no.
They are going to weapon it up.
Weapon it up.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'll get 2 threat back. Thank you. I do have to spend a power, don't I? Boom.
How much threat are you at?
With what I started with.
We don't know.
So 12.
12.
Okay, so we lose 2 more power.
Yeah, and I'm just going to let you lose the 2 power. But they do get a second turn. And I think they're just... I'm going to spend 1 threat and do the same thing.
Difficulty increases though.
Oh,
Sure does. Doesn't matter.
oh no!
Stop it! Stop it,
Jeez.
Ed!
Well, at least we're getting him to spend that
2,
threat.
3, 4, 5. So
Yeah, but he's gaining
2,
it
3,
back.
4, 5. So there's
That's not how
5.
threat's supposed to work, is it?
It
I think
works,
you gain threat
works,
back.
2, 3, 4, 5.
so it's at 5.
But
you'll-
resistance.
You'll lose 2 more power, and I think that's okay.
What?
So this turn you should have lost 4 power.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
It's an energy draining weapon. They are draining your energy, and then it will pass back to you.
Don't forget, this actually might be a good opportunity to bring in Tachibana Akira.
No, I'm handling this
Okay.
tactical. I can handle tactical and give orders as long as I'm not using the direct action.
Okay.
But you're not developing the people under you.
I don't fucking care.
Not important right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Pend. I'm shooting the weapons.
Yes, just let me evade and you shoot, please.
All right, so you're shooting the weapons. Go ahead and
Oh
shoot.
wait,
the
hang
weapon.
on. Don't forget to. God damn it, Varro.
You got a problem, Captain?
Is that a success?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So go ahead and roll me damage.
Are you just gonna take the
you guys. Well, once you roll damage, I have an idea.
Can I just ask first, is it 2 to hit? Because we could use that 2 to cancel out the complication.
Yeah, you didn't give me it to hit.
So it is 2. It is difficulty 2. There's nothing difficult beyond that. So if you guys wanted to spend the 2 extra momentum to get rid of the complication, I will let you.
I
Yep.
think we'll do that.
All right. So you guys
And
are back
then
to
you
2.
take that damage.
4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8.
Plus 2 versatile.
So I'd spend one of those on piercing.
Yeah. I think 1 piercing and this is the Borg sphere. It probably has 4 resistance. I'm just gonna say we spend 2 on penetration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Penetration for 2.
Okay.
So 8 damage.
So as you hit the Borg sphere, you see that the Borg sphere is engulfed in a brilliant red light and disappears.
Yep. I was fucking right.
What was it?
Some sort of illusion.
Oh.
And then let's see. We're gonna randomize this a bit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Julo's going to pinch himself to make sure this isn't one of those PTSD nightmares he gets on it.
No.
All right, Lieutenant Evans.
Yes.
Okay, so you are right away. You are you're in that central chamber, but you're cut off from the rest of the crew. The rock is piled up all the way to the ceiling, and it's really like it became a wall. So there's no way to go through it to try to get to the other team. What do you do?
We adjourned to the center of the earth now. Because this is like a whole chapter in Journey to the Center of the Earth right here.
Notice that we still have not made contact with the other aliens on this planet.
Yep. We're doing great.
Did I mention this mission has a lot to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We're doing this efficiently, folks.
Yep.
But Evans, you're up.
Okay, is there any way for me to exit the cave?
As you look around, you find that there is one way to head, and it is a passageway that leads away from the central cavern.
Okay, but that does not take me where I came from. That's deeper into the cave, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can I get a good enough sense reading to figure out if any other entrances the other group may have access to, and the entrance I have access to will meet up at any point?
All that you are able to scan is your immediate surroundings.
Yay.
And in the distance through the passageway, you can kind of hear the cheering of a crowd.
That's not mildly terrifying.
What?
That I can hear the chanting of a crowd
Cheering.
cheering.
Still not good.
Yeah.
Certainly not.
All right, Evans, what are we doing?
Tell some orders.
Captain, can you hear me?
Comms
Jura?
are not working.
Fuck.
No. I'm seeing if they can hear me through the rocks.
They hear nothing. All you get is that echo of your voice through the cavern. And as soon as your voice stops echoing, you kind of hear the fanfare of music down that same passageway, as well as the cheering crowd.
I just like kind of like smash my ears up and get like my ear against the rock, or not like smash, but you just like press it real hard trying to hear. Then I start going down.
All right.
And
As you head down the passageway, you notice that the cheering and the fanfare of the music gets louder as you walk down the passageway.
Okay. I try to be stealthy about this. I would very much like to see them before they see me.
Okay. And eventually, as you continue down the passageway, you enter a type of room that has a pool in the middle of it. And around the room, it opens up and it becomes a crowded coliseum. And the crowd seems to cheer your name, your actual name, as you walk closer to the pool. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Troy.
Oh no.
I'm not sure why, but in my head, I'm imagining the fanfare music as mariachi, and I don't know why.
I think that probably fits your character. And as you kind of look around to take this all in a loud, booming voice, you hear, "Troy Evans, you will compete for our pleasure in a series of endurance tests, each more difficult than the rest. Contestant, to your marks." And hold on, Mr. Evans, I have something to give you.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, we're doing this.
Is Kel doing any?
what the crap?
Oh no.
That was out of character, by the way.
No, in character Evans is just.
No, I would not have responded that way to this. Okay.
So what I sent you is kind of like the underlying feeling that kind of seemed to have taken over you a little bit.
Okay. How strong is this feeling?
Like you're about to do what I'm about to tell you to do.
Okay.
So as you take your mark, the voice comes over again and says, "Test number 1. We will test your endurance under the water." As you jump into the pool. All right, Mr. Evans. This is going to be a fitness plus security difficulty 2. And if you think there's another relevant skill or discipline, I'll let you use those. This is essentially you are navigating an underwater obstacle course.
Does survival apply?
It sure does.
Okay.
Oh wait. Hang on. If we're doing, wait, hold on, guys. I totally have the music that we got to use for this. guys. This. Yeah.
I think this fits. Yeah. So Evans, go ahead and test your endurance.
All right, we're at what? 3 momentum?
2.
2. Okay. This is difficulty 2. Mind if I spend a momentum? Anybody?
I think it's a good idea.
So wait. These are going to get more difficult as we go. I should probably save that.
Or we could view it as like getting
There
some
we go.
momentum now.
All right. So you saved it, huh? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So you make your way through this underwater obstacle course. You expertly navigate each and every obstacle that was placed before you. Swimming under underwater cliffs, swimming through currents that are made underwater through various means that I'm not going to get into now. And eventually you do reach the other side, and as you exit the pool and stand in all your glory, the crowd around you cheers your name again, ever louder, having succeeded at the first task.
Evans.
However, as soon as you exit the pool and take in your moment of glory, behind you, you hear a wall kind of creep ever upward, and the wall makes a climbing surface, and you look up at it and know that your next task is to scale this wall to the top. This task is going to be fitness and security, difficulty 3, complication 2.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, I'm spending that momentum now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna like run at the wall and kind of try to like jump up to get a little bit of extra altitude to shorten the distance.
Okay.
Nice.
And again, you show off your expert climbing skills as if you've been training for this moment your entire life. And you get to the top of the top of the rock cliff. You kind of pump your arms in a motion to the crowd, and they all cheer louder and louder.
Hang on, let me see if this works. Evans. That one won't work.
No.
And then as soon as you put your arms down, the crowd grows silent, and the room almost becomes it's as if no one else was in the room, and yet you could see everybody.
Oh, well then in that case. Did.
And the big booming voice comes up again. Finally, you are to face off against the dreaded beast of the depths. And up rises this kraken-like creature from the center of the water, of the pool of water, with its tentacles ever reaching towards you. And next to you appears a spear. And you think that and you know your only purpose is to throw that spear as hard as you can at this thing. This is going to be fitness, security, difficulty 4.
Oh crap!
Clairvoyance, Evans.
Oh boy. Yeah, so I reach over to get the spear a little more calmly than you would think I would. Again, spending momentum.
Now keep in mind, this is difficulty 4, and you got 1 momentum. You could always give me threat.
What was that?
Could always give me threat.
Hey, Julia, you've got some background noise coming through.
Azula?
Strong background noise.
Holy
A lot of
hell.
background noise. What the hell
I
is
think he's
Azula?
got music on, but it's really
Intermittent.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know how
loud.
to make it intermittent. I was trying to, yeah. It's off now.
Okay, so I'm going to use some determination here. If as long as measure twice, cut once would apply to this.
I think so.
Okay, I'm gonna buy that 2 successes.
So keep in mind that it will only be a task roll of 2 then, because
Now,
Oh,
you do
that's
not have the
right.
momentum to buy the other one, but you could always buy a dice with 2 threat. That is always an option.
Or a threat and a momentum.
or
That
you
is
just
true.
give him straight up threat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to do a threat and a momentum or 2 threat?
Mm,
Given
think
the
2 threat.
situation, I feel like 2 threat would feel applicable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the real question is, which of the crew members is Evans hallucinating as the Kraken? That's the real question.
All right, Lieutenant
All right, and
Evans.
survival still applies.
Yeah, I think you get the feeling that this thing will probably eat you if you fail.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
Oh no.
3 successes.
And a complication.
And a complication.
Son of a.
Failed.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So you pick up the
Wait,
spear.
hang on. What is? I just want to quickly see what Evans has.
You have either cautious or bold.
Ooh, he does not.
No, I've been thinking about trying to get bold, but I don't think I have a way to get that quite yet.
No.
Ooh.
Okay, time to read the fail. So you pick up your spear and are about ready to throw it at this thing. But this beast is too quick for you and grabs you in its tentacles and throws you under the water. And you feel your body sinking ever quicker until you hit the bottom with a giant thud. And that will be Evans leaving this scene. Next, we'll go to the good doctor.
Oh. Oh no.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
All right, Doc. You find yourself in an entirely closed off portion of the cavern. There doesn't seem to be any way in or out of this part.
Great. Captain Evans? Anybody hear me? I press my ears up against the rock.
And nothing comes back from it.
Great. I'm gonna try and scan to see if they're alive.
And right as you pull out your tricorder, let me get the noise going. From behind you, you hear a child's voice. Hello.
I turn around.
I got more reading. You turn and see a small child of a race that you do not recognize. This child has extra nostrils on both cheeks and has flowing bright red hair. Are you here to help us?
We'd like to.
My mommy is sick. She is dying. Can you help us?
I'd like to very much, but we're trapped. Where is she?
And the child points behind you.
Oh boy! Look behind me.
As you turn, the cave. As you turn around, the cave changed and looks like a makeshift hospital. And on various outcroppings lie the bodies of numerous beings, the same race as the child. And all of them seem to be covered in deep black spores that ooze a black liquid that pulls on the rocky outcroppings. And as you take this all in, the child says again, "Can you help us?"
I'm gonna try. I got a tricorder and some basic and more than basic knowledge. Let's go for it. I'm gonna is there anyone that looks like they're in charge?
Everyone here is sick and are laying on various outcroppings throughout the cave.
Okay. So the only person that's
The only person standing is the child.
up is the kid. Does
Correct.
she have signs of this illness?
No.
Okay, I want to scan her to see if I can get a baseline of what their reading should be and then compare it to one of the ones that's sick. Does that make sense?
Yeah. She seems healthy.
Okay. I'm gonna... Which one is your mommy?
And she points to the one closest to her.
Okay.
Or closest to you.
Okay. I'll start with that one. I
All
want
right.
to
Reason.
see if...
Okay, so this one is going to be reason plus science or medicine difficulty 1.
Okay. Infectious disease, I think, probably applies here.
Yeah. I think that's a good bet.
You said difficulty 1, difficulty 2.
Difficulty 1.
Okay. Let's try it.
All right, you'll get a momentum out of that. We'll make the tricorder scan. And then I will give you the information.
All right.
Bam.
What? Oh, what do I know about that?
You probably know. Well,
The symptoms.
Yeah, you know the symptoms and
like. Do I know what? Do I know what stage this person is?
Probably toward the end.
Great. Okay. Do you have medical supplies?
And the child just shakes her head.
Okay. Makes sense with what I know. Do I know what causes it? Like, is it?
Yeah. However, when I tried to research what this one was, there wasn't much on it. So there
I was gonna
probably
say it's
is.
not the one I know. Like I know a couple. That
but I did take some liberties on this one.
Okay.
So. But I gave it that name because it was in a canon episode of TNG, so that it would be theoretical that you would have an understanding of the plague. So you know how it starts, how the end stages are, everything like that. So whatever you role play to make up is fine.
Okay, so
you could say it's fungal, you could say it's like a bacteria, whatever you need to say.
well, if it seems like it's spores based off of the rock, then it's probably fungal. In which case, and I don't really have anything with me.
I mean, your basic med kit is very versatile.
Yeah.
It has so many different hyposprays.
Actually, it only has one.
Yeah.
It has a hypospray, like a medical scanner, and like a dermal regenerator, and that's it. And the hypospray only has one medicine in it. Yeah. Well, it's not one use. It just has one medicine in it.
Oh, okay.
I can't think
generally
which is like
pain reliever. Yeah. So I could make them comfortable. Theoretically, they don't have. There's not any kind of plant or anything else in in the room. It's just the rock, the
It's-
spores, and the sick people.
Yep.
Shit. Hang on, I'm trying to pull up the disease.
Yeah, on Memory Alpha, there's not much on it, other than it's highly classified.
Great, that's helpful. Thanks, Starfleet. Don't tell your doctors about the super dangerous plague. That's cool. Why does it keep taking me to Phlox? That's not helpful.
Well, it's like here's a Denobulan doctor, you're a Denobulan doctor, you'll get along great.
Well, the name is very close to Phlox. It's like Phayrox
There it is.
plague or something.
Pyrox, yeah.
Pyrox, yeah. And as you'll see, there's not much on it, and Memory Beta is 0 help.
Good. Trying to think.
But you don't need to overthink this.
Well, I can give him something that'll take away the pain. Can I look and see if anybody's in earlier stages than this person is?
You could scan a couple more.
Okay. Do I need to roll?
Yeah, might as well get some momentum out of this.
I hope so.
You can make the same roll.
Yeah. Nope. I don't know nothing.
So you scan the other one and it you scan another patient and the symptoms are similar.
Are they awake?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can help.
I'm gonna walk between them and give them a hypospray for pain. That's the most I can do with what I have with me.
Okay. Are you scanning anybody else? Are you doing anything else?
I guess I'll try and. I don't. Are there gloves in my medical kit? I want to say there are probably gloves in my medical kit.
I don't think so.
Ugh.
Stone Age.
Well, is it though? Hygiene, man. Yeah, I'll continue scanning to see if I get anything different, but it seems like most of these people are in the end stages.
All right, go ahead and roll me that roll one more time.
Okay. Actually, because it's a medicine roll. Anybody have a problem with me using the momentum so I can possibly either bank more or use cautious if I fail?
I reckon go for it.
Okay.
All right, so you're down to 1 currently.
That gives me 3 dice. Let's try it.
And you get 2 out of it, so you're up to 3.
Yep.
Let's get my little noise maker thing. Where is it? Tricorder. Got a little sound effect.
I'm trying, like...
Right.
They seem to be... Do they seem to be, like, have a...
Yeah, well, I got something to read. I got
Okay.
something to read for you, so this might answer your question.
Okay.
So, as you step up to scan the third patient, and as you start to scan them, you see that their heart and lungs all of a sudden stop. And as you turn to look at the other patients, one by one, they all start to die.
Oh,
The child says again, "Can you help us?"
I can help you.
And as you turn to face the child, the same sores start to form on the child, and black ooze starts to pour out of the child. And within seconds, the black ooze starts to drain quicker and quicker from the spores, and the child melts into a pool of black liquid.
Oh, well, that's terrifying.
And as you turn to face the other direction away from what you just saw, you are back in that cavern with no sign of the patients.
That's trippy.
Well, I think I'm going to need to assign myself a counselor for that. I'm going to kick the wall in frustration.
All right.
I don't expect it to do anything but hurt.
Oh.
Pretty sure it does. Let me look at the cap. Oh, this could work for the captain. Okay, cool. So I do want to run this one.
Oh no.
All right, captain.
Okay. Yes.
You just like everybody else find yourself in a cavern, but in your cavern there is one way to head as well,
Of course there is.
and of course it leads away from the central cavern.
And so after pushing on the rocks around me for a few seconds, I say, well, this may as well happen. And I start walking down the corridor.
All right, as you start walking down the passage, you could hear the telltale signs of metal hitting metal. But it's not like big metal. It's like little, like if you throw like an aluminum can against other cans. That's kind of like what it sounds like. And as you get closer and closer to this sound, you can start hearing a voice saying "ah," and then you hear the cluttering of metal as if it's sliding down like a hill. And you eventually come into a type of junk pile, and you can see a lone Irisian rummaging through the junk, picking up pieces, throwing them with that same
Well,
ah
D&D,
sound.
that's definitely
He
not-
grabs and puts others in the bag, in like a bag he's holding. And as you start to look around at the junk, you can make out several pieces of Federation technology. Some of it old and dated, some of it new, to be non-operational. And there's also technology from some of the Federation's allies and enemies, like a Klingon batlith, a Romulan disruptor pistol, several old consoles from early Starfleet vessels. And a lot of the pieces, you seem to know what they are and what they do.
Okay. Huh. This is curious.
And as you're still doing this, that's one guy is still like throwing stuff and junk.
Sir, can I help you?
Junk, all junk.
And with that, I take out my tricorder and start scanning.
And the moment you do that, very quickly he comes up to you, almost quicker than you could possibly fathom someone like him moving. And he's like, "Ooh, what's this?" And they grab your tricorder and start to scan around.
Hey, give that back.
And he looks at it, it's like, this is night. And they place it in the bag, in their bag.
But no, that's my tricorder.
And he's like, fancy yourself an expert, huh?
Yes.
Tell me, what is the best thing here? It all looks like junk to me.
The best thing here.
So, like, any Federation technology that you can think of is here.
Oh. Okay. What's the best thing here?
Yes, this all looks like junk to me.
And the captain takes off his comm badge, sort of clicks it, opens it up, and he points inside and he says, "That right there is the best thing here."
And he takes it from you, clicks it a few times. Think you can get it to work?
Well, it works right now, but the communicator isn't what I'm talking about. No. The best thing out of all the technology that you see around you is this little device right here. The Universal Translator.
And how does it work?
Well, in any given species, the syntax and language of a species will tend to have certain commonalities between them. The Universal Translator analyzes those commonalities and forms a translation. If you could actually hear me talking in my native tongue, you wouldn't understand a word of it, and vice versa. But thanks to this Universal Translator here, you can understand every word I'm saying.
So sure of that, are you? And he grabs that communication device and crumples it in his hand. Can you still understand me? And he opens his hand and you see your communication kind of destroyed.
And the captain takes a couple steps back. Who are you?
That is not for me to answer. I believe it is time. And with that, all the junk pile starts to fall through the floor. And you start to go with it. And as you fall through the floor, you land back in the cavern where you started with no trace of the junk. And Captain, the first thing that you notice about this passage is it's quiet. Too quiet, in fact. Like it doesn't have any of the normal sounds of a cave.
It's quiet.
It's so quiet
Quiet.
that you can hardly even hear the sounds your footsteps make as you walk.
Now here is the real question. Is it so quiet that I start hearing the sound of my own pulse?
No.
I love that.
And as you look around, in the center of this chamber that looks exactly like the one you first entered in on, you see a man sitting cross-legged in the center, and he's not making any noise at all.
Excuse me?
Harmon Grennan, I have been expecting you.
Expecting me?
That is correct.
Who are you?
The children call me God of the Heavens. That name will suffice.
The god of the heavens.
Tell me, Harmon Grennan, why are you here?
We were here to negotiate for peace.
Is that why you were interfering with my children?
Your children.
Everything on this world is from my seed.
The captain is a child.
Yes, and
I can only not be 12 years old for so long, guys. I'm sorry.
His picture does look like he's 12.
Shush. No, so the so You created all the life on this planet?
If that's what you heard, then yes.
Oh, I didn't hear. I deuced, I guess you could say.
So tell me, Harmon Grennan, why are you interfering with?
Because as things appeared, it looked like there was going to be an awful war, and I wanted to do everything in our power to prevent it. As things stood, if a war occurred, then a very significant portion of your children would die.
And is it always your habit to interfere in conflicts of other beings?
What do you mean by other beings? Just the interfering in other species' affairs? Well, we don't like to make a habit of it. We wanted to get as much information as we could before we decided to take any particular side, if indeed we would take a side at all. And in the process of trying to gather information, we stumbled upon this place.
And what do you think of this place, Harmon Grennan?
I couldn't begin to tell you. I don't know what it is, how it works, how you could do all these things, make us see and feel all these things. But Julie, you might want to cut out your mic. You're tapping pretty loud there.
Oh, sorry.
Where was I?
No idea.
Shit. But needless to say, I have no idea what to make of this place.
Then there is still things that you need to learn.
Right.
Is that why you are so far from your home?
Yes.
So then the only question I have for you, Harmon Grennan, are you worthy? And as he finishes that sentence, he disappears.
And I just look around, and does anything happen?
So as you look around, ooh, I have to read the bad part of this.
Oh no!
Not the bad part. So as you look around, you see Lieutenant Evans fall face first into the ground, but he does not look injured in any way. He just all of a sudden fell to the ground. As you look another way, you see the doctor with kind of a look of horror on her face. And then the other guy is there somewhere. We'll say he, yeah. We'll say he just stands up and says, "Where have you guys been?"
Oh, I'm sorry. That killed me.
It's almost like these are all just puppets of some other entity.
I don't know what to begin to make of all this, but I think it's safe to say that we're not just playing some game. There's more to this here.
I'm gonna run over to Evans and check him, see if he's just passed out or what's going on.
Oh, Evans is perfectly fine. Like, he kind of gets up and I would assume dusts himself off.
Uh, okay. Are we in a cave or are we just in
You
this
are
lab?
back in that same cavern where all this started, and it looks like nothing touched it.
And again, you're gonna hear Harmon say, something that you haven't heard him say, like in context. But he just goes, "Am I worth?"
God damn it.
Evans had kind of been like looking up at the ceiling to see it's like everything's still intact. And just like stops and kind of looks over at you when you say that.
Shit. Oh shit. 10.
You're welcome.
That was what all the laughing was about.
Anyhow.
That was awful.
What happened?
Lots of death.
Lots of junk.
We look at Evans.
Well, I fought a giant squid.
A giant squid.
Of some sort.
Did you win?
Uh-huh.
I'm glad I don't go on shore leave with you guys, says Kel.
Yes, I won.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
No, I did not.
I was gonna say, I'm sure you showed that squid what for.
Didn't even get to use the spear.
But this begs the question. What they mean? What did they want us to see? Did they ask you anything?
Can I help them?
You, Evans?
They gave me a series of endurance tests.
But they didn't ask you anything.
No, unless the giant squid was a metaphor.
Yes, please.
The giant squid is a metaphor for the human struggle.
Well, actually, I was thinking the other alien race.
Yeah, if you could stand up to. But what did you see, Captain?
I saw junk pile. I talked to this weird man who asked what I could give him, what was useful. It was one of those Irarizians. He wanted to know what and he trails off and he says, I think I know what all of this is about. At the very least, I know who knows.
Oh?
Captain Grennan to the Kismet.
And the communication goes through.
Kismet here, sir.
For to beam up.
Understood.
I'll try, sir.
It's a good sound.
Okay.
And so once I get back up to the bridge, I look at Jula and say, Jula, can you
Sir?
raise the Prime Minister of the Irarisians?
All right, I'll try, sir.
And Lieutenant Ajula is able to raise the Prime Minister, and he appears on the view screen. Captain, it's good to see you again. I trust your journey went well?
You could say that. We did a little, and he looks at him and he says, we did a little surveying of our own.
Were you able to find our missing survey team, Captain?
No, we weren't. And now, Prime Minister, I'd like to get down to brass tacks. What's down there?
What do you mean, Captain?
What are you looking for down there?
And he looks at you in a puzzled look. We're just looking for resources, Captain.
Then why did you understate the amount of survey teams that you've sent into this region? You're looking for something specific down there.
And again, he's looking shocked. Captain, I have no idea what you are talking about.
Does Varro get anything?
Puzzlement, confusion, obviously. Trying to rack his brain about what you're trying to ask him is what Varro's getting. And I maybe should have typed that out to him.
Whoops.
Oops.
I communicate that to the captain, though. Just kind of lean over and quietly say, he's telling the truth, sir.
I
As far
see.
as I can tell.
Very well, then. It would appear that I am mistaken.
What happened down there, Captain?
We
Oh, and if the comm is no longer
The comm is still open.
making
comm
contact
is still open.
with the
Comm is still open. We found a cave system. It's kind of a dead end, but we found some things that, while they haven't answered all of our questions, certainly have put some things into context. We haven't made our decision yet. We have a couple more inquiries to make. But hang on a second. What was the name of that? What did that thing call itself?
Sky God.
Okay, let me pull it back up. Yep, here it is. I'll send it. I'll send you the bit of dialogue.
Yeah, I kind of want to remember this. I see. So then you're not. So then, in that case, if you're not looking for anything particular down there, then I suppose, and Grennan glances at Varro for like the quickest, like half second, and then looks back at the Prime Minister. You've never heard of the God of the Heavens, have you?
The God of the Heavens, and he thinks for a minute, kind of looks around, as if like he might have heard that somewhere. God of the Heavens. Got to get back to my page.
Womp.
I thought those were just legends.
Maybe, but sometimes legends are truer than you know.
I didn't think that the Tova's gods actually existed. And you saw them?
In a manner of speaking.
At this point, I want to interrupt and sort of quietly ask the Borg.
I'm sorry, what?
Sir, are you suggesting the Tova worship the Borg? You're talking about some kind of a sky legend. You ran into a Borg sphere up here, sir. I assume that's what you were fighting down there.
Lieutenant, hold your tongue for now.
All right, what? I'm sorry?
Lieutenant, hold your tongue for now.
The captain processes this for a moment. I see. Well, we still have a few more questions, and
Yeah, no shit.
we still have a few more questions, and not too many more directions we can go with them, but we will be in touch.
Well, Captain, if these gods do actually exist, we have no choice but to leave the area. This will greatly upset the Tova if they found out that we were trying to mine in their most sacred areas. However, we still want our survey team back.
They may have been assimilated already. Not sure we're getting them back.
Jula, not now. We'll make one last effort to locate the survey teams. But I'd be prepared for the worst.
And he just kind of looks down, shakes his head. It's like, very well, Captain. I look forward to hearing from you again. And he cuts off the transmission.
And so immediately Grennan looks at Azula and says, now, what was this about? Borg?
Sir, I can only assume that you made contact with the Tova before you were attacked by the Borg. But at that point, I'm not sure what happened. How did you escape?
Lieutenant, they were not attacked by the Borg, and I suspect neither were we. If you scan out there, I don't think you'll find any debris.
Borg have been known to recover their technology every chance they get. Could easily have just
It's more like a hallucination there, bud.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually missed the part where Ed said the thing disappeared in a bright red glow.
Yes, but then again, something attacked our engine, and then you came onto the board talking about a sky god, and I'm starting to think I may be one of the more sane people on this bridge.
No,
Lieutenant,
the Borg.
Have you ever actually fought the Borg?
No. Other Julas have, however.
The Borg don't typically engage in such theatrics.
Have I what, sir? I couldn't hear that last question.
The Borg don't typically engage in theatrics like this.
This doesn't fit with patterns of engagement used by the Borg, nor do the outcomes of the battle. Our phasers would not have been able to inflict that much damage. There would have been debris, and the Borg sphere on its own would not have been able to recover any of that debris once it was destroyed.
In addition, the entities that we encountered on the planet seemed capable of asking us questions more complex than "you will be assimilated."
Also, I would like to point out...
Okay, so sir, you did succeed in making contact with the Tova, though. Is that right, sir?
We don't know.
I don't understand, sir.
It sounds like Dr. Efrix met some Tova. However, from everything that we know, it's entirely possible that that interaction was a mere mental projection.
More likely than not. At least I hope so.
So, what, if anything, was accomplished on this away mission? Recall correctly. Tova.
Well, I think now that we know what we do, I have an idea. And I turn to Varro and I say, "You're not going to like it. I'm going
Sir?
back down there."
Alone?
Alone.
So who's
There's no way
going
I
to
can
bring up
convince
General
you
Order?
otherwise, sir.
Is anyone going to bring
There's-
up General Order 10?
Lieutenant, not now. Captain, no way I can convince you otherwise.
As things currently stand, no.
Very well, I'll be keeping a transporter lock on you.
Understood. So I'm going to go down to the transporter room, and I would like to transport back to that cavern, if at all possible.
Sure.
So walking around in this cavern, I look around for a few seconds. I find like a good spot towards like the middle of the cavern, and I sit down. And I sit down in the way that I saw that sky god sitting earlier, and I just close my eyes.
And when you open them again, there's a being sitting right in front of you. However, it looks like his back is turned to you.
I just sit.
I see that you have come back, Harmon Grennan.
I had to. Lives are at stake.
I sense that you have many questions, more than you had before.
Yeah. I assume that you're a very old being. But beyond that, I don't know.
What is it you wish to ask?
How long have you been on this planet?
I have always been.
Really? Then why here? In this little cave?
This is where I may be summoned by my children.
You mean... shit. What are they called? The Tavo?
Tova.
Tuva.
Tova. You mean the Tova?
And the other.
The Irorizians. And oh, hang on. Shoot, I gotta look it up. Let me just make sure I've got it right. No, it's not them. Where is it? What is the name of that damn species?
Which one?
The Arisians?
No, the frick.
Tova?
No.
Are you talking about the slave species?
No. I'm talking about that one species that like seeded every freaking world.
Oh, yes, the progenitors?
Is that what they're called?
I believe so.
Sure.
That sounds right.
I'm not sure they ever gave a name.
Okay. Are you one of the progenitors?
No.
Something else altogether, then. Did you form with this planet?
I am this planet.
I see. You asked me whether or not I was worthy. But worthy could mean so many different things.
Isn't that the question you are always asking yourself?
Right, and I think knowing that you're worthy kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Being worthy means that you have to prove it every day. That's the struggle.
So, are you?
No one can be worthy every day. And as things stand, I can't even say necessarily that I'm worthy more than half the time. But you know, the important thing is that I keep trying. And maybe everything I've done will be worth it someday, and maybe in retrospect, someone will look back and say, yeah, he was worthy.
So, Harmon Grennan, is there anything else?
Well, I did promise I'd try and get that survey team back for them, but that's beyond your power or your desire, I understand. Sounds like they got too close to your ancestral land, so they disappeared.
The Arisian survey team is still alive.
Then where?
The Tova have a village a few short kilometers from this site. In the village, you will see the three-man survey team tied up in the middle of the village. You must go there and speak to the village elder. He will be overlooking the captives.
Understood.
The Tova will know you are coming. They will be expecting you.
Right. Right.
And with that, he disappears.
The captain gets up, and he begins the slow walk to the village.
And as you approach the village, you see everything exactly how he defined it. You see the members of the three-man survey team tied up in the middle, surrounded by all the Tova in the village. And the elder stands on a platform overlooking the captives. And as soon as the elder spots you walking to the edge of the village, the Tova part and let you and clear a path for you.
And I just walk forward calmly.
And the elder looks at you and nods to the platform next to him.
So I stand on the platform next to him.
And he says, I have been expecting you.
Do you know my name?
It was not required for this meeting.
I see. Would you like it?
It is not required for what we want from the Arisians.
I see.
All we want is for the site to be considered protected land, and that no Irisian may enter without our permission. If these terms can be agreed to, then we will agree to free the captives and stop all further attacks.
I believe that the Irorizians would be happy to agree to such terms, knowing what they know now.
Then he nods, but then he nods to the crowd, and they all go to free the captives, and the captives stand up.
So this is why you live the way you do.
And he just looks at you in like a puzzled look.
I guess it really is a wonder. Out of the race that's so technologically advanced and the one that lives in the simple agrarian lifestyle in the feet of their god of the sky and heavens. It's really a wonder that now I really see which one is worthy. And the captain walks away, leading the captured Irorizians with him.
And I think that that is an excellent time to end the episode.